So this is going to be my second take on this video. Servers are down for like 75 hours. I'm just kidding. I don't know how long they're going to be down for, but they've been down for a while. And I had Brian comment on my video. He said, yo, bro, just hit 1430 on my blue Gunlancer. If I do my first Vykas raids, are there any patterns or mechanics I should be worried about eating on any of the gates or just face roll as usual? So, Brian, thank you for commenting. I'm sure you are not the only person who has this concern and or question. So today we're just going to go rapid fire. I'm going to go through, try and look at all the patterns and call out which ones you can tank, which ones you can tank, but you got to be careful, which ones you probably should not tank, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to try and just, kind of rapid fire so this video isn't too long. This is a dash. You can definitely tank that. You'd be fine. It splits off into 3. It doesn't do too much damage. You'd be good, even on item level. So this 3 lasers you want to be on the lookout for because it's a set pattern that he does every time, meaning whenever he does this, he always follows up. It's like a combo attack. So he'll do the 3 lasers. After that, he'll teleport to do the grills. And then there is a cone attack. On blue, the save zone is behind him. On purple, the save zone is in front of him. You can tank all of them, but on item level, I would be a little weary. Probably don't try and take all of them. There are other easier, less damage attacks that you can eat to keep your stacks up. So here goes the grills right after. As you see, I tank it just fine. And then the final one, you can tank just fine. It depends on your meter. If you have full meter, you're probably fine to go ahead and eat that attack though. So this is for the first mechanic. This is orbs. When he does this explosion, you want to make sure you're inside. If you are not inside the circle, you will die. Can't tank that. So this is front back. So he does like this little, I don't even know what to call it. It's this cone attack that he sends forward and then it comes back through his body and then attacks behind him as well. You can tank it. But if you're going to tank it, I would probably try to make sure you have velocities on it. There are lots of attacks in Vykas where the hits are multiple times as opposed to like one big attack, kind of like how some of them are in Vaulton. So you want to be careful when you're tanking multiple attacks because it can really chip away at your shield meter very quickly. So I velocityed myself there just to make sure. He uses it on me as well after. But I also had my shield shock debuff. Shield shock obviously has the tripod that makes you take reduce damage. So all those things put in motion because I knew I was going to be taking a big attack. You don't want to be draining your meter, right? Your meter is your life. So this, wow, perfect example. So he does crystals after this, and I want you guys to look. So for this crystals, he raises his hand, he sends out crystals outward. There's a damage zone under him, and there's safe zones in little mazes on the outside. But when he sends out the crystals, they all start right below him. So look at my meter. Mind you, I am 30 item levels above the required item level for this fight. And I leap attacked, but because he ascended up, it made my character go kind of like through his body. I still did damage, but now I am directly under him. Look at my shield meter. Boom! That is a big hit. And what that was is I took the hit of all of these crystals. All of these crystals spawned under him. So I took that just straight to the face. Pause on that. But you see all the absorbs that came up. So you want to be very, very careful. You can tank those hits if you get hit by like 1 or 2 of the crystals. Ideally, you want to be a bit further out so you don't take the hits of all of them. So yeah, be very, very careful. If you're in the middle of a shield charge, a leap attack like I just was, and when he ascends up, you're going to go through his body. So you want to be careful on that sense. But you can take this red attack hit. Shout out to Ruthless. He godsent lawed me, so I didn't take as much damage. And then I taunt right after, get all my shield meter back. This is another big attack. He does 2 hooks with 2 punches, and then he'll also do the kick telegraph. So this big blue telegraph, that's a kick. Do not try and tank this. I would not get in the habit of tanking this. It does hurt. It is one of his stronger abilities, especially for people that aren't Gunlancers. I've definitely seen it do quite a bit of damage to people, so be very, very careful with that one. I wouldn't get in the habit of tanking that one. Dashes forward, splits forward. You can tank these attacks. You can tank those X's. You'd be fine. These falling orbs, you want to try not to tank. Again, it's the same thing of taking attacks multiple times. You don't want to get hit multiple times. If you got hit by it, would you be fine? Yeah, probably, but you want to make sure that, so that's a better example for the crystals as well, but you want to make sure that you're not getting hit by 1 orb and then it, domino effects into a bunch of damage taken. This is Velganos. You don't want to mess this one up. It was nice and easy. If you mess up Velganos, though, you can tank it, especially if you have a support in your party. If you have a bard, they can Rhapsody you. If you have a paladin, they can Godsent you. Even on hard mode, I think if you shielded with your shield stance and a Godsent and maybe a shield from your support, maybe even your Awakening, I'm sure you can tank it. Or you could just time stop it, but ideally, you just don't mess it up. Okay, 3 lasers, cone behind them. It looks like we've pretty much gone through most of his attacks here, so I'm going to try and go to purple. Here we go. See if there's anything crazy. So same thing. I taunted him out of that, but he was going to do the lasers. So this is front back. So the purple Incubus, when he does the front back, instead of just doing front back and then turning and then doing front back, he'll actually teleport. So you see he teleports away, targets someone else, and does it again. Want to be careful when you're taking multiple hits. Make sure you're reinforcing your shield with Nalasias. He dashes forward, cone in front of him. You can tank that hit. You'd be fine, but just don't. So this one is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, right? You don't want to take multiple hits. And as you can see, I was in the middle of Guardian Thunderbolt. I couldn't avoid. So I used my Awakening. And if you look real quick, you could see my meter gets really low. So that was almost pretty scary. But luckily, I use my Awakening. It gives me all my meter back, and I am just fine. And I keep my combat readiness stacks. So for this one, same thing. You could take the crystals. However, this time the save zone is under him, so you don't have to worry about dodging that. This pattern, the dual rings with the orbs falling on you, he can do this in blue or purple. But definitely don't want to try and tank too many of these. You could tank them. You wouldn't die in one shot. But try not to tank too many of them because they will hurt. Just Velganos, stuff like that. And yeah, don't try and tank this in and out thing when they call inside safe or outside safe. It's a lot of the same patterns, and once you get used to the patterns, what you could tank and knowing what your shield meter is like. Okay, so this one is actually something different. He flies up, and then he has like a little explosion under you. He'll have a few more explosions follow you. You want to be very careful as someone who doesn't have as much mobility, because after he does one of these red telegraphs on you, so you want to make sure you either have your shield charge ready, maybe shield bash and a space bar ready, or you're constantly moving, especially if you don't have like Yearning in your party for that extra mobility. Because you can tank this won't one-shot you, but it's gonna put you out of position. It's gonna knock you down. You're gonna have to use your space bar roll to get back up and stuff like that, right? So it's just better to not take those hits. And I believe that was the last little unique thing. So this one I don't tank. Get outside for the save zone. The save zone could be outside or inside for that one. And that is gate 1. So she sends out 6 seeds off the jump here, as you see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, you can tank it. If you don't have your shield up, it actually like vacuums you in. So be a little careful with that. But you can tank that one fine. After this, she does her 3 like her 2 punches or whatever. You could take that one as well. For the seeds, I would try probably not to get used to tanking it, but you can tank them. This is a counter. So this one, she does her little front flip kick. She gets ready, boom. I don't need to say it, bro. Don't try and tank that. You see how many red telegraphs there are? There's like 15, bro. Don't try and tank it, bro. Just, you know. Time and a place, my dog. Time and a place. 140 bar, she's doing carousel. Do not try and tank this. Would you live? Yes. Would it hurt? Yes. Just don't do it. 6 seeds again. Also, be careful if you're too close to her, because sometimes if you're too close to her, the vacuum will still hit you. Also, you can tank this. As you can see, after she did 6 seeds, she does like this. If you play Scrapper, it looks just like True Rising Fist. It's like this jump, and it's like a drill that follows her upwards. Obviously, you can tank it. If you have a lot of meter, you'd be fine to take those hits. Gives you a good amount of stacks. But be careful, because if you get hit by lots of those, same thing, multiple hits. If you get hit by a lot of those, it's going to really tick down on your damage. Or tick down on your shield meter, I'm sorry. So this is a flurry of kicks after this, in which she is counterable. Speak English. But these orbs, dog, if you get hit by all of them, that hurts. Excuse my language. That hurts a lot, bro. So be very be very careful. I didn't realize until one time I was trying to tank him and I got hit by, I just ate it, bro. It was on me and I was like, okay, I'll just wait for it to counter. It's like boom, 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 boom. My shield meter was gone, dog. So be very, very careful with that one. You can take a few of them, but don't tank all of them. Just be ready to counter, be on the lookout for counter. I countered early because I'm a trash Gunlancer. And then yeah, jumps over it. So this backstep is also usually counterable, but because we just countered her on the pattern before, she's not off cooldown yet for the counters. She does her little dash forward. Yes, you can get hit by that. The other thing with gate 2 that I want to bring up now is you don't want to get too used to getting hit by her attacks, because later on in the fight, post 65 bars, when you get hit, you get stacks. So you don't want to be constantly up to 3 stacks, because then you get the cones on you, which you'll see later on. But yeah, don't get too used to tanking her attacks in gate 2, because you don't want to mess up your teammates. So this is purple ring. Definitely don't want to tank any of this. Okay, this is 120 bars, safe zones. Yup, definitely don't want to tank that. You would die. So these little cones are what I'm talking about. These little, where you got to point them to the edge of the map. After 65 bar mechanic, when you get hit, if you get hit 3 times on the 3rd stack, you get one of these. It'll put one of these on you. So you don't want to get too used to just eating the attacks. This is worms. So these worms, you only really got to look out for these blue and yellow ones, because the purple ones, or the, you know, burgundy ones, don't actually jump up out of the water. So, or out of the ground. For this attack, when she kind of starts floating and she's like praying, I don't know what the hell she's doing, but you definitely want to get behind her or get away from her. Do not try and tank this. This one hurts a lot. This is for sure one of her stronger attacks. And if you get hit by these pulses, especially not in your shield, if you're in your shield, it's going to drain your shield. And then once it's drained your shield, it'll knock you up and away. So really don't want to try and tank that one. You could if you like awakening it, but like, I don't think you need to tank it enough that you should be committing your awakening to that pattern, if that makes sense. So this is actually shotgun. We haven't seen this one yet, or maybe I skipped over it. So she like kicks these 6 crystals, or what is it, 7 crystals out in like a shotgun cone. You can get hit by it, but just like on gate 1, if you get hit by all of them, it's going to hurt. So be very, very careful not to get hit by all of them, because it's just like in gate 1, the front back, where they go out and then come back through her body. So as you see, they're going to retract after, and boom, they go through. So be very, very careful with that attack as well. She does it again. We weigh here to avoid doors. You can tank doors prior to 65 bars. So again, after 65 bars, if she does doors, these bloody walls that hit you will give you stacks. So you definitely don't want to tank it then. But if you have Nalasias prior to 65, maybe you're awakening, you definitely can tank it. You can tank the walls and you can tank the explosions. But do that at your own risk, because it hurts. It hurts. So make sure if you're going to attempt that, you're, you know, ready. Or maybe you're in the call with the support, you know, hey, let me get a Godsend, let me get a Rhapsody, let me get a, you know, something. Work with me here, you know? So yeah, if I wanted to, I could just put my shield up and tank the hits. I didn't here, but yes, you could. But remember, that's prior to the 65 bar red black mechanic, this mechanic here. So we got worms again. I'm pretty sure we're pretty much done for gate 2. You want to be careful with these stacks. That X, obviously you can tank, but it does hurt, and if you don't have your shield up, it'll knock you up as well. So be careful. Okay, this blue telegraph that she just did, it's out in out. It's an electricity CC. So you want to be careful with that. I usually like to save my awakening for it, because it's a really nice damage window. She doesn't move, and you can just sit there and do damage. You don't got to worry about getting that electricity on you if your awakening is up. If you don't use your awakening, then you definitely want to make sure that you're avoiding those blue telegraphs. You wouldn't die to the telegraph, by the way. Let's say your shield is up and you do get hit and you're electrocuted and your teammates don't purify. I think you'd be fine, but the attacks after might kill you, so be careful. Out then in, nice and nice, and we are done with gate 2. So let's go ahead and just hop right into gate 3. So I call this one windmill. It's once you get used to the tell, it's so easy to avoid. But she usually starts off with it. She does it pretty frequently throughout combat. So she turns her body and then she'll like whip her sword and like do a cartwheel basically. So if your friends aren't aware, be on the lookout for it. Call out windmill so you can get out the way, because she will attack the line where she is first, and then the lines outside will be hit after. So after she does her initial hit, you can get inside to avoid, which you'll see I should be doing here. But you can tank it. You definitely can tank it. It's not a crazy hard hitting thing, but you want to be careful as well on gate 3 because you have a lust meter, right? But yes, you definitely could tank it. So for this pattern, she does her 2 slices forward, and there's actually 2 options that she can do as the third part. So if she slices twice with the sword, and then you see her getting her sword ready again, she's actually going to turn around and then do like a sonic slash behind her. It's like a sonic wave, sonic boom, whatever. Or she'll do what she just did where she jumps up. If she jumps up and slams down, it's going to be a safe spot and a cone behind her. She normally does this twice too. So she'll jump up, slam, safe zone behind her, then she'll turn around, jump up, and do it again. So you'll see a lot of people here after the first one, they get into this spot over here because she turns around and does it again. As you can see, I just tanked it, so you can tank it. You definitely could tank that one. Like I said, though, gate 3, you want to be careful because of your lust meter, but yes, you definitely could tank these attacks. Let's go after Absorbed One Spirit. You can Nalasias. Obviously, you can tank this. We usually have supports Awaken if there's more than one. You can help out by throwing out a Nalasias as well. After this, she does her Torpedo mechanic or her Torpedo pattern. This one, you could definitely tank. Again, just be careful on that lust meter. But yeah, you definitely could tank that. You'd be fine. And these hits on the outside, if you're out of position, you'd be fine. That one, when she slams down, though, I would be careful of. And this red telegraph outside, this explosion, would you live? Yes. It would hurt, though. So be very careful with those as well. The slam and the red telegraph after. You can tank them, like I said, but they would hurt. They would hurt a lot. So be very careful with things like that. This is a counter. That attack, though, if you don't counter her, you'd be fine. She would just dash through. You'd be chilling. This is pools. We're gonna stack pools and do 120 bars. Nice. Staggered her again. Now we're doing stagger mechanic. You obviously would not be able to tank this. I time stopped too early. That was greedy of me. I think I was kind of concerned because people weren't doing a lot of stagger. But it's fine. We did it, right? So this is... I tried to counter, but I don't have enough range. But yeah, as you see, I tanked that hit just fine. That one is not super concerning. I did tank that slam, as you can see. I've been tanking them the whole time, but that put me over 70% lost. So you want to be careful for things like that because you don't want to get charmed and then end up packing up your teammates. So she's going to be doing swamp here. Windmill again. It's a lot of the same patterns, man. And after you get used to seeing those patterns, it's so easy to identify. She's doing the slam again, safe zone behind her. Then we're going to reposition. These cones, or not these cones, these, when she throws out her weapon and they like split up, this thing, yeah, you can get hit by that. You'd be fine. Careful of the lust. Careful of the lust. Aside from lust meter, though, you'd be fine to tank that. Whether you should take the hit or not, and your lust meter is going to be dependent on your own situation and your run on if you know you could take a hit or not. But yeah, for the most part, most of these you can tank pretty freely. So this is hard mode. So at 35 bars, we're going to have the red orbs. Don't want to... I think you can tank that because I've seen people time stop that if all the orbs go in. I've never tested it because we usually just get the orbs, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if you like awakened, you could time, if you can time stop it, you can tank it. You just need mad HP, I'm pretty sure, and mad shields. So yeah. There goes the slice. Okay, slam down behind her. As you see, I got away. I didn't want to get any more meter because I knew that we were going to be doing the 35 bar mechanic. I didn't want to get my lust meter up. Here goes the 35 bars, space bar pattern, blah, blah, blah. Damage, damage, damage. This is Medusa. you definitely don't want to mess up Medusa. I wouldn't even try and tank Medusa, because the real issue with Medusa is the lust meter. It's not even the damage. So that's just another pattern I'm not going to go over too much. Counter. Nice. And these are whales. This is whales that she's doing right here. You want to be very careful with that. I wouldn't try to tank whales. I would not try to tank that at all. She didn't do... There's one pattern that I was kind of on the lookout for that you definitely could tank. It's red or black. She'll put down... I'll see if I can find a clip. If I can't, I'm sorry. But I'll see if I can find a clip. Maybe I could put over this video. But... she puts a circle under her. It looks like a magic circle, and she'll have her sword on one side. It'll either be, it's a half red, half black circle, and whichever side her sword is on determines the safe zone. So if her sword is on the black side, then outside is safe. If her sword is on the red side, then inside is safe. Regardless, though, if you get hit by that attack, you'd be fine. Most of the attacks in Gate 3, you're fine to tank. You just got to be careful of your lust meter. It's just like in Gate 1 of Vaulton. You can tank a lot of stuff, but you have bleed stacks that are a thing, and you don't want to mess other people up because of your greed, okay? But other than that, we're pretty much done. We're setting up the final thing. We're going for stagger. We use way, blah, 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 blah. And we're done with Vykas. So I hope you found this helpful. If it was, let me know. If not, and you think this was a waste of time, my bad. As you see, I'm tanking the torpedo. Don't want to take this one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to see me do a video like this for like Vaulton or maybe Cuckoo or Kakul Seidon, in case you don't understand what that means, after it comes out, let me know. Anyways, it's been your boy. Appreciate you guys.